Welcome to Excel 2016, Module 11, Part 2. In this part, we will create another query into an Excel table. This time, we will also group that query by months within the date field. If you did not do Part 1, you may not have this query in your workbook. Do not worry about that. It's not a concern. You're going to begin over on the recent revenue worksheet, making sure A3 is your active cell. We're going to go to the Data tab, and we're going to choose in the Get and Transform group the New Query button to create our query. Again, we're going to be using a CSV or a comma delimited file, so we're going to choose from File, from CSV, and this time we will choose the 2-year revenue file. We will choose Import, and next we're going to go ahead and choose Edit so that we can get to our query editor. Now this time what we're going to do, instead of clicking the columns we do not want, we're going to click the columns that we want to keep, because we only want to keep the order date and the revenue. So we're going to click on the order date column, hold the Control key down, and click on the revenue column. When you have the two columns selected that you want to keep, we're going to go up to our Manage Columns group, and we're going to choose the drop-down arrow under Remove Columns. We want to choose Remove Other Columns so that we'll remove everything that is not highlighted. And that will bring us back to having just those two fields. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new column. So making sure that your order date is highlighted. On your ribbon, go to the Add Column tab, and this is in your query editor. We want to go over to our Date button that's in the Date and Time column, or group, excuse me, and choose the drop-down arrow. We want to go down to month because we're going to base this off of months, and we want to create a field that has the end of the month. It goes through and creates a new field for us. We are going to rename that field. So we're going to right-click on the column heading and choose Rename. And we're going to simply call it Month. When you hit Enter, it will finish renaming it. Now what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to group by this date. So everything that has a 131 date, I want grouped together. So what we're going to do is we're next going to go over to our Transform tab on our ribbon. And we're going to choose the Group By button. This will open up our dialog box. And we're going to be using this Group By. We're going to say we are grouping by month. The new column name is going to be called Monthly Revenue. We want it to sum. And the column that we wanted to add up is the revenue column. When we say OK, you're going to see it go through and it's going to do a lot of calculating. You can see it's thinking, and then it's going to come back to give you one row for each month with the total revenue. We're going to change our query name over here in the Query Settings tab from 2-year revenue to be monthly revenue. And now we're ready to load our query into a table. So we're going to go back to our Home tab on our query editor, choose the bottom of the Close and Load button. So we get the drop down arrow, choose Close and Load to. Again, we will be closing to a table. However, we were not going to a new worksheet. We're going to go to the existing worksheet and put it in cell A3 and then click Load. And the last thing we're going to do is select the cells that have the monthly revenue amounts in them. So we're going to choose B4 through B27. And we're going to go to our Home tab and set the number formatting to currency. And now you can see we have two queries. One that was created in part 1, a second one, monthly revenue, we just created in part 2. And that concludes part 2 of module 11.